how they try to clean up their slate, they still have my son's blood on their hands.
4 years after her son's death, Elijah McCLAIN's mother is not satisfied.
Alone in what he did to my son. He had accomplices. He had buddies with badges that are all bullies. So it's not a victory for me. Justice. This is a misuse of taxpayer money.
What is the address of the emergency?
Main Street, I think it's, Black Hawk or something like that. Let me check real quick.
Okay.
It's Main Street and Black Hawk.
Okay, is it Black Hawk Way, Black Hawk
Street.
Okay, give me 1 second. Just repeat that intersection for verification.
Main Street and Black Hawk.
Okay, are you sure you're not on, give me 1 second. Is it possibly Evergreen?
No, this is a...
Okay, well, no, I understand that. I just don't show you anywhere near a Black Hawk.
It's Black Hawk Street.
Okay, just stay on the line. Give me 1 moment. I don't show you, what I'm saying is I don't show you anywhere near Billings and Black Hawk.
What about Billy Street and Evergreen?
Okay, that's where I show you near. Okay, what's the phone number you're calling from? And your name?
Juan?
And your last name, Juan? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
So there's a guy, he's walking, what's the opposite of north?
South?
South, yeah, he's walking south on Billing Street, he has a mask on.
Okay.
And then when I pass by him, he puts his hands up and does all these kinds of signs. I don't know, he looks sketchy. He might be a good person or a bad person.
Yeah.
But they're all mask on.
Okay. Those arms. Okay. I'm going to put a call in so officers can go see what's going on, okay? Are you still at that location now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. When did this happen? When did you see him?
Right now, he's like, I just turned around and he's like putting his hands up.
Okay. Don't approach him, okay? If you need to, just drive away. I don't want you to go near him. Were any weapons involved or mentioned?
No.
Okay. I already have a call in, okay? I need to get his full description. What race is he?
I think he's a black male.
Okay. How old does he look? I know he's wearing a mask.
I have no clue.
Okay. What color's the mask or what does it look like?
Black.
Black mask?
He's like a gas station on Billing Street on Fairfax now.
Okay. Is it like a ski mask or what type of mask is it?
Yeah, like a ski mask.
Okay. And then what else is he wearing?
I don't know. You think that is like a brown long sleeve shirt?
Okay.
And then black sweat.
Okay. Sweatpants. Okay. Give me 1 moment. I'm just adding notes. Are you or anyone else in danger right now?
No.
Okay. We have this call in, sir. Don't approach that person and do not disturb anything at the scene. We are going to have officers dispatched to check the area and try to locate him, okay?
Okay, he's not walking from the gas station on Third to Colfax.
Yep, I let them know that, okay? So don't follow him or anything. We're going to have officers come check the area, okay?
Okay.
Just call us back immediately if anything changes or if you have any further information.
Sounds good.
All right, and do you need officers to contact you, sir?
No, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. Call us back immediately if anything changes.
Okay.
Favor, stop right there. Hey, stop right there. Stop. 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 I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious.
Well, okay.
Turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
Stop.
Stop tensing up, dude. Stop tensing up, bro. Stop tensing up. This is gonna go well. Stop tensing up. Stop tensing up. Listen to me, bro.
Let go of me.
Stop tensing up.
No, I am an introvert.
Stop
Please respect
tensing
the
up.
boundaries that I am speaking.
Stop tensing up.
Stop.
Relax.
Stop. I'm going home.
Relax, or I'm going to have to change this situation. Stop.
Leave me alone.
Stop.
Can you please?
No, I want to
Cooperate,
you
all right?
leave me alone.
No, we're gonna
First off,
talk to
you
you.
guys started to arrest me, and I was stopping my music to listen. Now let go of me.
Let's get over to grass.
Lay you down. I intend to take my power back. If I intend to be censored, if I intend to be censored,
Just write your gun, dude.
Stop, dude. Tensing up. Listen to me, bro.
let go of me.
This isn't gonna go well.
No, I am an introvert. Please respect the boundaries that I am speaking. Stop.
Relax.
Stop. I'm going home.
Relax, or I'm going to have to change this situation.
Dude,
Hey, stop.
Leave me
Relax.
alone.
sir, can you please?
No,
We don't wanna do this, all right?
Leave me alone.
No, we're gonna
First
talk
off,
to
you
you.
guys started to arrest me, and I was stopping my music to listen. Now let go of me.
Get over the. Let's get over the grass. We're gonna lay you down, okay? Come on.
Taking the rest. I intend to take my power back, and I intend to
We're
be.
gonna go forward with him, okay?
I intend to be censored.
Stop, dude. Give us more. We're fighting him. Stop, dude. You got him? Stop, dude. All right, we got his arms. We got his arms. You got his arms? Yep, we got his arms. Yep. No, not yet. Let go of your arms, dude. Let go of the choke. I got him. I got him. I got him. It's arm hammer. Nice and slow. Slow down. Slow down. Get his arm. We're gonna have fire start. Bring your arm out, dude. You can't get it. I can't get it. Let go of your arm. There we go. Keep coming, but just start fire. Okay, I've got his other arm. Okay. You have it on? Up that arm. Okay. Flipping. Flipping. Dude. Dude, just stop fighting. Taser, taser, taser in a second. You're gonna get tased in a second. Stop fighting.
Stop fighting, you're gonna get tased.
I've got his arm. Okay, hold on. You got that one out?
Yep.
Stop, dude. Relax. Just relax. 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 I've got our back. He's getting custody. Where's his other hand?
I got it here. It's in a bar hammer.
Stop.
Okay. I can't breathe. Please stop.
Okay.
Side
Straddle him, finger for his legs.
Cover position. Trust me. Cover. I have his legs.
I have my ID. Right here.
He's got my
I have my ID.
It's too late. got him
Oh,
between. Still fighting us in the ground.
my name's Elijah McCLAIN.
Yeah,
That's
don't
all.
forget he's karate.
That's all I was doing. I was just going home. I'm in a trooper in my blueprint. I'm not.
I heard some snoring.
I just don't like going home. I'm just different. I'm just different. That's all. That's all I was doing.
It was actually Rosenberg.
I'm so sorry. I have no gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting.
Other units that are not here.
Why
You can
would you
slow it
tell
down a
me?
little bit.
I don't do guns. I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian. I don't judge people.
No, I mean, I'm trying to stop him. He started walking away.
I try to live a secret.
When we showed him up,
And all my,
he showed up, he was wearing a
and
skate.
I respect all my,
He walked him some. And that,
forgive me.
yeah.
All I was trying to do was become better.
We started it because he reached for
He's like,
Rose's gun.
give a Tesla.
And we had him on the wall.
But I'll do it. I'll do it.
All right, what are you going to do?
Can you plug my camera?
My camera cracked.
Well, he called.
All right.
I saw him walk
I'll
down.
do it.
Exactly where it was.
Sacrifice my identity. Sacrifice my identity. Sacrifice my identity. Sacrifice my identity. I'll do it. I'll do it. Sure. I guess
Look at this.
you all are phenomenal. We are beautiful. God, I love us.
That's mine.
Neutrality.
He was hitting
I'm
us.
a nice sun in a moon. Gemini. Sorry. I'm so sorry. That really hurt. Yeah, this is very strong. Sweet word.
He went like this, dude.
Makes the true word. I feel it. I hate
There's another body camera. It's probably split like this one. It's like right here.
Up here? I lost the cuff too. Right here. Pair of glasses. That's it, I think. Alright. I lost the cuff somewhere. Cuff's right here. There's glasses and a phone over here. One more body camera too somewhere. Right here.
I don't know. Stop.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to do that. I can't breathe correctly because.
Move your camera, dude.
Do we have the gun?
No, he went for his gun.
Oh my god. Does anybody have sandy wipes? Alright, thanks.
You can bend his knees a little bit so he can balance himself.
He's kicking around a little bit. So he's gonna sit on. Yeah. The red case. Y'all missing your cell phone?
I'm not missing mine. Are you missing yours? Yours is in the car, right? Your cell phone?
What's that?
Your cell phone is in the car?
I think so. Is it an iPhone?
What drugs
Is it a red case? No.
What kind of drugs did you take tonight? What kind of drugs did you take tonight?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
You need to know, okay? Good, brother.
Can you find sandy wipes for me somewhere, please?
You know what you were taking.
From anybody?
Right there, okay?
Yeah, anything, please.
Are you listening to me, man? I'm asking you what drugs you're taking, okay? There you go. Whose is this? Mine. It was recording. I just shut it off because it's split in half. So, something fell out right here on the grass, but I don't know what it was. It probably looks like anger.
Gotta throw up, dude?
Yeah.
Throw up right there, okay? Don't throw up on me, though.
We got fire coming, right?
Yeah. I called him when he first went out.
And I don't think he went out, dude.
He like halfway, I think, but... Hey, dude, relax.
I think he's trying to pee.
Oh, okay. Get it out, dude. Thanks, bro. Get it out.
You need to swap out so you can take care of that?
Nah, I'm good.
Let's see. Like, you need anything?
No, we got called to a suspo. He was out here walking around with a ski mask on.
So y'all need the cell phone picked up?
Probably just bring it over by him, dude. And then, we contacted him. He's wearing a ski mask.
SDRP, and we got that covered.
He started to kind of like walk away from us, so these two wrap him up. And then in the midst of them wrapping him up, pushing him against the wall right here, he reached for Rosie's gun, dude, so... Don't move, dude. Just stay on your side. Rosie, rolling this way, dude?
Yeah.
You able to?
Fuck. My legs locking up.
There you go. Just like that.
You're good.
Don't get up, dude. It's not going to be good for you. I'm telling you right now.
Dude, if you keep messing around, I'm gonna bring my dog out. He's gonna dog bite you. You understand me? Keep messing around.
I think we're okay for here. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Watch your step, dude. You're right as puke.
You got a mask on. I know that. Yeah.
I did the show. Passed out.
Okay.
That's what I was supposed to say.
No, I just... okay.
Don't do it, dude.
Relax, bro. Come
Chill
on.
out.
You already lost this one. Just relax.
It's just not acted appropriately at all.
No. When we tried to stop him, dude.
Come on.
Does he say anything? English or anything like that?
He speaks English.
Yeah,
But he's definitely doing something.
Okay.
Stop, dude.
Well, chill out. You've already been told several times to stop.
I can't fix myself. Ow.
Just leave him there until the ambulance gets here. We'll just go down to the green.
Hey, I know you're busy, but I just to let you know.
Stop.
We had a suspicious call over here on Bill.
Dude, chill out.
He's got a mask on his face. That's kind of weird. Nothing really criminal. My officers go to make contact with him. He starts acting crazy and he attacked him. Those are glad he ends up trying to put a bonnet on the guy. And actually,
Well, stop fighting us.
wasn't able to put the bonnet on him. They put him out. They were able to get him out of handcuffs. We're still struggling with him. We have a fire on scene. And that's where we're at. I just want to let you know, yeah, we did that. I just brought it tonight, so. And the other one, I don't. Oh, you got him? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I knew you were busy. Just one other thing, we did have an officer get.
Yeah, that's all his, dude. That's what he was wearing.
It was used. Okay. It was very minor.
So when the ambulance gets here, we're going to go ahead and give us
All the cops are okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect, dude.
Appreciate it.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Let's give that a couple of minutes and then we'll put him on.
Whatever he's
Okay,
on,
all right.
he has incredible strength.
Yeah, crazy strength.
Ketamine, so.
I had him in a bar hammer behind his back, and his arm was above his head, and he was still fighting.
Is there anybody that can relieve me for a second? Spitz! Oh, we need somebody just to... Can I just get home for a sec so I can get up? I'm like cramping up. Fucking... Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. So he's walking away from us, and he did this thing. We're like, hey, dude, this is not a big deal. Just relax. And we sat there for a good 30 seconds just trying to calm him down. We're like, dude, hey, not a big deal. We need to talk to you. And then he kept doing this, and he kept saying things that didn't make any sense. And then I'm like, hey, bring him over the grass. So if we do have to take him down, we can take him down the grass. Not because we're right here by the rocks. And then he starts going crazier, so we get him cornered against the wall.
What's he doing? He's acting crazy.
He's like saying stuff, and he's holding his arms in, and he's like, I don't remember exactly what he was saying right now, but he's acting really strange.
Randy, you needed relief, buddy? Randy, you needed relief?
No, I'm good. I'm just going to pat him down, make sure
And then over there, Brody tells me to try to grab my gun. So we pull him down.
While he's...
Yeah, so he pulls his arm free and comes out. And I don't remember feeling it because I was focused on him. But he said, you're trying to grab a gun. So I'm like, okay. So he comes down and, yeah, go from there. And I don't know when this...
Okay.
That's all of
I
it.
need, yeah, to make sure you document that part.
Yeah, 500.
You draw 500. Do it.
But, so I initially tried, and then I was in a bad position. I didn't want to hurt his neck, so I had to release because I was behind. It wasn't like.
So you went to put it on?
So it was like almost like a schoolboy trying to get it caught backwards.
Okay.
Because that was the only position I had.
Right, is cute.
Just relax, dude.
There we go.
What are you trying to get?
Put his arm down here, and I can throw my knee right in his tricep, and you can't move.
And then
Sure he can breathe. Look inside.
He can breathe.
Okay, all right.
I just have his arm
I
behind his
understand.
back.
Don't move your feet. Nope, don't do that.
So if you take his foot and angle it outwards, he's not out.
Okay. At least once successfully. Okay.
Stop messing around, man.
Chill out.
Well, we'll just leave him.
You've already been told several times to stop.
I can't sense myself. Ow. Just leave him there until the ambulance gets here, and then we'll just put him down to the gurney.
Hey, I know you're busy, but I need to let you know that stop. He had a suspicious call over.
The fate of the two paramedics who injected her son with ketamine on that August night back in 2019, ketamine that eventually led to his death, according to prosecutors.
And it does seem like perhaps that a spokesperson for the family will be speaking at the microphone.
This story
Yeah, let's listen in.
is Shani McCLAIN's story, and it's Elijah McCLAIN's story. I can only represent an echo of her story and his story. But what I will say, when something happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. I watched as the prosecution delivered the truth about what happened to Elijah in 2019. The truth is now real, and it is available for the people. I heard every side of this say that Elijah should still be with us. Elijah still being here with his mother is justice. God made a promise to all of us when he made Elijah. This young man had a spirit that was sweeter than any of us can ever even try to be. Self-taught violinist, self-taught guitarist, and upon his murder, he was mastering the oboe. He was called to be a healer, so he went into massage therapy. And from what I understand, some of the Aurora police officers were actually some of his clients. He was called to be a healer. Randy Rodema, Jason Rosenblatt, Jeremy Cooper, Nathan Woodyard, Peter Chikuniak denied all of us the promise that God made to us when he made Elijah. They denied that promise to us.
Yes, he pulled his own breathing out. He comes out, and I don't remember being exactly okay, so he's coming down.
That's all of it.
Yeah, I think you're talking about that more.
Okay, yeah, 500.
Don't do it.
You're good.
Nothing on his legs, right?
No.
I'm gonna come back this way. That way we're not dealing with this. Right in his puke.
Oh, thank you.
Here, come this way with it. Come this way. There we go.
What are you trying to get?
Just put his arm down here. And I can draw my knee right in his tricep. And he can't move.
Sure he can breathe.
Yep. He can breathe. He can breathe. I just have his arm pinned behind his back. That's it.
Don't move your feet. Nope, don't do that.
So if you take his foot and angle it outwards and put pressure on his ankle, he almost did a push-up with all three of us on his back.
Okay. You want to give that before we... Yeah. So once he gets out, I'm going to hit him in the right shoulder.
You want some shears? You want shoulder or ass?
Either way.
Ass is right here, man.
Okay. We'll give that a couple minutes. We'll see if that works. And then if it does, we'll go to the bed.
His legs. You good?
Got it? Now you got his back waist?
Yeah.
Is that one kicking you, man?
No, we're good.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
We're good.
Stick your head in the ambulance. Make
So I
sure
got his arm. Just drag your knuckles right there. You'll hit the foot pressure until he moves. All right.
We got 500 to ketamine? Yep. Awesome. Thank you. Okay.
All right. Just drag it right behind his ear if he fights, all right?
We'll give that a minute or two, see if that works. And once it is, we'll go ahead. If you guys are okay with it, we'll uncuff him. We'll go up with the right arm, down with the left, and we'll just restrain everything. We'll give that a minute or two.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, Woodyard, Rosie, here in a minute, once this medicine kicks in, we're going to uncuff him, put him on the bed, and then we're going to restrain him, soft point him to the bed.
No, you're okay. I got you.
You guys have any extra gloves on you?
My back pouch right here, dude.
That's right here.
Okay.
They're extra large, just so everybody can fit them.
Just to fill you in, who's contacting if we're walking down the street wearing like a wrestling mask or something like that. So I can call these guys to get him down and get him into the position. Like no pain compliance, they were completely relaxed. His name is still fighting. He's still fighting when we got here. He's super diabetic. He's back fighting. So I was excited to go in, and that's why I was getting the 5 with the ketamine. We have no idea as far as that's allergy. So we're going to give him maybe another minute. It looks like it's starting to kick in.
Yeah, he's snoring.
Ready. We'll go ahead and uncuff and take him up to you. Is he in custody or?
Yeah.
I'm sure he will be.
I'm sure he will be, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Just like the hospital staff know.
If he's not already.
All right. How's he? Does he seem a little?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get him on his side, and we'll just uncuff him.
Let's get him on the gurney first.
Okay.
If we can.
Okay. You guys want to do that?
Be careful.
Yeah, he's definitely.
All right.
Throw up on you guys.
This we'll put an end title hanging on to both.
Give him some light.
So we can have that ready too.
Do the right one first.
Hey, would you?
Somebody grab this.
I got it.
You guys got them?
Yep. Thanks, sir.
Good? Yeah.
Inside suction.
Just put it in.
Let's get him in right quick and we'll suction.
And
and at 11:07 p.m., just over 20 minutes after the first officer made contact, responding officers are told McCLAIN does not have a pulse.
He just cored.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Okay. So, sit tight.
McCLAIN was resuscitated at the scene, taken to the hospital where he would be declared brain dead 3 days later. The coroner concluded last November that a combination of physical exertion and a narrow left coronary artery contributed to McCLAIN's death, but could not determine the cause of his death. He added that it could have been either an accidental death caused by a reaction to the ketamine, a natural death, or a death linked to the carotid control hold used by officers. The district attorney later announced he would not charge the officers involved, saying that the evidence does not support a conclusion that McCLAIN's death was the direct result of any particular action or individual.
The attorney later announced he would not charge the officers involved.
Based on speculation.
Speculation, you could have investigated more. So you're saying if a pathologist doesn't give you a home run, you never go forward with a case?
And by the way, there was no injuries to him whatsoever.
He's dead.
Serious.
He's dead.
Yeah, if you want to say the forensic pathologist doesn't know what he's doing, you can say that all you want.
No, that's what you're saying to get away from my question. You're saying there are no injuries. The guy's dead. So clearly things happened to him that were wrong, Mr. DA.
Yeah, he's got a heart that's got a very narrow valve, an aorta valve, and he probably most likely died from excited delirium. Where he had a heart. You have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the actions of those officers killed Elijah McClain.
What if you could just show that it contributed to it?
And that forensic autopsy report and the forensic pathologist who indicated to detectives that this young man could have died the next day by mowing his lawn. How do I overcome that?
I do not see that in the report anywhere. He did not say the guy could have dropped dead mowing his lawn the next day, not in any of the stuff that you offered.
You still have to prove that they caused his death by their negligence acts.
But you don't think the choke had anything to do with why he died?
There were no injuries to his neck. The man was alive after that happened.
But then why do you think he died?
Well, that's the question that we don't know. And in my business, I can't take a case to court that we don't know the answers to those questions.
McCLAIN was wearing a ski mask. See him? He's not holding up the store, by the way. The video makes it clear he's standing in line and he buys his things, pays, leaves, has a mask on. Why? Why does he have a mask on? Because supposedly he had anemia and would sometimes get cold.
The doctor who performed the autopsy on Elijah McCLAIN takes the stand in the trial of 2 police officers now charged in McCLAIN's death.
His testimony was a critical part of the case as he believes it was a ketamine injection that killed McCLAIN. Your reporter Rick Salinger has been bringing us updates on this trial every day.
In court, it was revealed Elijah McCLAIN was hospitalized after using the hallucinogenic drug LSD in the years before his death. Prosecutors argued if the defense brings that up with the jury present, it would prejudice the case.
It's not because they think anyone actually thinks that Elijah McCLAIN was hallucinating or experienced any LSD symptoms 3 years after this 2016 incident.
A female officer at the scene the night of the 2019 incident testified she saw no need to notify the paramedics on hand about McCLAIN's condition.
Is groaning a sign of distress?
It could be.
Is it a sign of happiness and everything's okay?
Probably not.
And the doctor who later performed the autopsy described a struggling McCLAIN.
From what on the video, he was sort of gasping like a fish out of water. It was very unusual breathing.
McCLAIN was given an injection of a sedative by the paramedics. He never regained consciousness. The autopsy doctor, Stephen Sina, told the court if not for that sedative ketamine, McCLAIN would probably have survived.
After a review of grand jury evidence in the case, the Adams County Chief Coroner amending the cause of death from undetermined to, quote, complications of ketamine administration following forcible restraint.
To, quote, complications of ketamine administration following forcible restraint.
The coroner writing, quote, the dosage of ketamine was too much for this individual and it resulted in an overdose. David, while the manner of death remains undetermined, the report notes that other forensic pathologists may have ruled this as a homicide or accident. The 3 police officers and 2 paramedics who were indicted for McCLAIN's death are expected to be arraigned in November. David.
3 police officers were fired and 1 more has resigned over selfies taken near the memorial site for Elijah McCLAIN, including one that appears to show a reenactment of the chokehold used on McCLAIN before his death.
One that appears to show a reenactment of the chokehold used on McCLAIN before his death.
They are cleaning up here from a protest overnight. Protesters marched to this Aurora police station behind me here demanding justice for Elijah McCLAIN. But this morning, the Aurora Police Department finds itself in the middle of a brand new public relations disaster. Hundreds of protesters demanding justice for Elijah McCLAIN taking to the streets of Aurora, Colorado overnight.
Say his name! Say his name!
Amid growing anger over a cruel new twist.
This photo, they are actually reenacting. Is this a good down? Yeah, they're actually reenacting a karate control hold.
3 officers in selfies, smiling and simulating the chokehold used on Elijah McCLAIN 2 months after the 23-year-old massage therapist and violinist died after a confrontation with other officers. The police union says the chief rushed to judgment. Erica Marrero and Kyle Dietrich were fired. Officer Jaron Jones resigned.
It's reprehensible, and that's why they no longer work here.
Well, Elaine, I know I'm so sorry for your loss, and I can't imagine what you must be going through, but how are you doing at this point, so many months after your son's death?
I'm feeling better with the attention it's getting now. Should have been, but better late than never.
You've been fighting for justice now for more than 10 months. Were you frustrated at this case that your son's story didn't get more attention sooner?
Yes. Yes. We're still here.
What do you miss most about your son?
Everything. Miss everything about him. Everything.
What type of kid was he?
Good kid. Smart. Full of energy. Smart as a whip. Like I said, he special. Just a special soul.
What? There's so much to go on, but talking about the investigation that's now going on to not just your son's death, but also this news that you heard several days ago about the pictures that are now being reviewed, the internal investigation just wrapping up. And now that federal authorities are looking into this case too for civil rights violations, what do you make of those recent things? You know, the pictures that were taken, what do you make of them?
They're cowards and they can't contain themselves. So.
Mari, what have you, to get your reaction to the DOJ and the FBI now confirming that they had been reviewing this case for civil rights violations, does that change anything?
You know, that comes as a real surprise to us, and I would like to think that the DOJ and the Civil Rights Division would reach out to us. We'd be happy to provide whatever help we can, whatever information we can. Obviously, we very thoroughly reviewed the evidence ourselves, and so we are very hopeful that the Department of Justice comes to a conclusion, but we haven't heard a single thing from them yet, so it comes as a real surprise.
And that is interesting that the family had not been, or not heard from either of those agencies. It is difficult sometimes to prove a civil rights violation at the federal level because you have to prove intent. Why, in your view, is this a clear case of a civil rights violation?
Unfortunately, the Aurora policemen... Sorry, I'll start that sentence again.
Why, in your view, is this a clear case of a civil rights violation?
Unfortunately, the Aurora Police Department has a long and sordid history of both racism and brutality. And so this is one in a very, very long string of civil rights abuses. And this investigation is long overdue. In this case, there are many, many points that illustrate that it is, in fact, an intentional civil rights violation. The fact that all 3 of the officers dislodged their body cameras, the fact that they said multiple times throughout the 15 minutes that they were tortured monitoring Elijah, move the camera, dude, or I'm turning off this camera. The fact that they applied multiple kinds of horrible physical restraint on him, including those 2 carotid chokeholds, and inflicted multiple other kinds of restraint as well. They mocked him as he was dying. They threatened to sick dogs on him. I mean, the fact that the Aurora Police Department exonerated all of those involved officers who went hands-on demonstrates that it is a very troubled department, to put it mildly.
Should they have used that much of a sedative on him?
There was no right to use any sedative whatsoever on Elijah. Elijah was, first of all, there was no right to stop him. There was no reasonable suspicion he had committed any crime. The 911 caller was clear that he had no weapon, had committed no crime, and that no one was in danger. So there was not a legal right to do one bit of it, and certainly no right to inject him with any ketamine at all, but certainly not a dose that was designed for somebody more than twice his size.
And certainly no right to inject him with any ketamine at all, but certainly not a dose that was designed for somebody more than twice his size.
And then Aurora paramedics inject him with 500 milligrams of ketamine, a dose meant for a 200-pound person. McClain weighed just 143 pounds. The report confirms what our investigations have already uncovered. Medics gave him too much ketamine after estimating his weight wrong.
The conclusion was that ketamine is a safe drug when used appropriately, and I think that's really the key point here.
His death is why Gardner pushed for a temporary ban on ketamine until this report was complete. Do you plan to continue the moratorium?
I think it's too early to say. I want to discuss at further length tonight with those that conducted the review.
Elijah should have lived. He should not have died at all. For McClain's family, the report details a cascade of unlawful actions committed by Aurora police officers. His father, LaWayne Mosley, says it shows what they've been saying from the start.
Hope you hold them accountable. They have problems.
Multiple investigations are underway into McClain's death. The Colorado Attorney General has opened a grand jury investigation. The FBI is also reviewing the case. The 3 officers involved in McClain's death were never disciplined for their actions that evening.
Police say McClain tried to grab Officer Jason Rosenblatt's gun. When Rosenblatt later received this picture in a text message, he replied, "Ha ha." He was also fired.
There was absolutely nothing funny about this.
A paramedic injected McClain with a heavy sedative, 2 heart attacks, and 3 days later, he died, having committed no crime.
All of the officers who are involved should be fired, and they should be fired and not able to be hired in any other department where they will continue to kill.
Now, the officers that confronted McClain last summer were cleared by the local DA, but now the Colorado Attorney General has opened a new investigation. The FBI and the Department of Justice both say they're looking into the case for possible civil rights violations.
Colorado at 5 o'clock for you. A mixed verdict is in for 2 men who were police officers at the time of Elijah McClain's death in Aurora.
The jury found one man guilty, the other not guilty. We have our Karen Morfitt there. We'll check in with her in just a moment. That encounter with police was back in August of 2019. McClain died 6 days after paramedics injected him with ketamine.
In this trial, Jason Rosenblatt and Randy Rodema, who were officers at the time, were charged with manslaughter and assault in the death of Elijah McClain. Now, Rodema was just found guilty. Rosenblatt was found not guilty. Our Rick Sounder has been following this case for us, joins us now.
Now, Rick, we know the prosecution was handled by the Colorado Attorney General's office. How would you sum up the case for them?
Well, like the verdict, it was mixed. This trial had 2 critical elements. Number 1, the body camera video, and number 2, the finding that Elijah McClain's death was caused by a ketamine injection, which was done by paramedics following forcible restraint. The prosecution focused heavily on the body camera videos. They presented them with expert witnesses who described various parts of it, including the carotid hold that made him briefly unconscious, McClain vomiting into his mask and telling officers, "I can't breathe." And I should point out right now that while Rodema was found guilty, it was not guilty of manslaughter, but guilty of criminally negligent homicide and third-degree assault, which were the lesser charges presented to the jury.
Rick, thank you for straightening that out for us. I know you sat in and listened to all of this, all the testimony throughout all of this. Why do you think they received different verdicts here, one guilty, the other one not guilty? Any idea?
Well, I was not on the jury, of course, but they certainly must have felt that Randy Rodima's actions that night were much greater than that of Jason Rosenblatt, and that Rodima was found guilty of criminally negligent homicide. Again, a key word in that is negligent, which does not show that he intended to kill Elijah McClain, but was just criminally negligent. Rosenblatt, they felt, had a lesser role.
And this is not a simple matter of guilty or not guilty, right?
Yes, as I mentioned, the charges that Rodima was convicted of are lesser included charges. He was charged with manslaughter. They found him guilty of criminally negligent homicide, a lesser charge. He was charged with second or third degree assault. He was found guilty of third degree assault. And again, Rosenblatt not guilty on the charges he was facing.
Rick, we know this is also early, this verdict just coming down a few minutes ago, but do you think it gives us any insight into how these other trials are going to proceed and end up?
Well, that is a very good question, because this is just the beginning, not the end of this case. These two officers were on trial. To use a baseball term, this is like a quadruple header. Coming up next is Nathan Woodyard, the officer who was first to stop Elijah McClain and perform the carotid hold on him.
In this case, the algorithm continues, but we do not know justice until we see sentencing. So, Judge Warner, you now have a responsibility. We are still seeking justice. And as this truth was told to the people, you have a part of this story that now you have to finish. Will there be justice? Elijah is gone, but he is never forgotten. He has left a legacy for me, for you, for everyone. And for those that are not able to see that an injustice was done, my heart hurts for you, because an injustice was done. And if you are disrupted by the justice that has been now, by the result of this trial, if you are disrupted by that, I will just say that I love you more than you hate yourself. Because a loss of life in this way should disrupt all of us. And as adamant as Shaneen McClain is for justice for her son, you should share in that sentiment with her. You are invited to share in that sentiment with her. His name was and always will be Elijah McClain. We love you, Elijah McClain.
The verdict was read just moments ago.
Let's listen in.
We, the jury, find that defendant Randy Rodima guilty of criminally negligent homicide. Second verdict form 21 CR 2782. Jury verdict for the charge of assault in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant Randy Rodima guilty of assault in the third degree.
Now, our Karen Morfitt was in the courtroom for closing arguments on both sides.
And she briefs us about what happened yesterday.
After weeks of witness testimony brought only by the prosecution, the jury heard final arguments from both sides and have started deliberating. As closing arguments approached, the hallway into the courtroom filled with people. There was Shaneen McClain, the mother of Elijah McClain, whose death is at the center of this case, and the defendants, Randy Rodima and Jason Rosenblatt, surrounded by attorneys and their supporters. Inside the courtroom, attorneys pleaded to the jury, prosecutors focusing on McClain's repeated calls for help, calls they say were ignored.
They would have treated him as a person, not a perpetrator. They would have helped him when he asked and begged that they help him.
The defense arguing their clients did as they were trained, calling for medical help immediately after a carotid hold was used.
Not once, but twice, he calls for fire.
What does that mean? He's calling for the paramedics within seconds.
The defense argued the prosecution presented little evidence that would suggest the officer's actions led to the death of McCLAIN, and instead pointed to the ketamine injection.
Police are kind of in charge. They have basic life-saving abilities. But then guess what? Medical arrives. Let me pass the baton to you.
The prosecution's response, that the duties of those officers to step in and help didn't end when paramedics arrived.
They failed to provide the required obvious information to paramedics, and ultimately that's why they failed.
No matter how they try to clean up their slate, they still have my son's blood on their hands.
4 years after her son's death, Elijah McClain's mother is not satisfied. In the moments after the judge announced the split verdict for 2 of the Aurora police officers charged with the young man's killing, Shanine McCLAIN spoke only to 9 News, telling us today's decision is not enough.
After a full 2 days of deliberations, a jury found suspended Aurora police officer Randy Rodima guilty of criminally negligent homicide and third-degree assault. The jury acquitted former officer Jason Rosenblatt of all charges. Tonight, our crews are breaking down the latest from the courtroom, the response from protest organizers who kept McCLAIN's death in the spotlight, and the statewide impact of this case.
But first, let's bring in our Alexandra Lewis, who has covered this trial from start to finish. And in the moments right after the verdict, you spoke to Elijah's mom.
Yeah, it's been a very long journey to get to this point, and the truth is, it's not done yet. You know, when you look at Shanine's role in this case from the beginning, she's more than just the victim's mother. If it wasn't for Shanine's relentless pursuit of justice, engaging protesters in 2020 to say her son's name, along with George Floyd's, today's conviction may have never happened. After pushing for justice and waiting for it for 4 years, she views today's split verdict as anything but.
82, we the jury find that defendant Randy Rodima guilty of criminally negligent homicide.
It's not justice.
We the jury find the defendant Randy Rodima guilty of assault in the third degree.
This is not justice. This is a misuse of taxpayer money.
The path out of Adams County Courtroom 407 paved with every emotion today. The guilty, the acquitted, and the disheartened.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. And when you continue to allow the type of injustice that happened to my son, there is so much to work on. There's no way we're gonna get to unity.
Suspended Aurora officer Randy Rodima is facing up to 6 years in prison for his criminally negligent homicide and third-degree assault convictions. A sentence Elijah McCLAIN's mother Shanine says doesn't reflect the brutality and the negligence her son experienced.
No, it's not enough, because Rodima wasn't alone in what he did to my son. He had accomplices. He had buddies with badges that are all bullies. So it's not a victory for me. And no matter how they try to clean up their slate, they still have my son's blood on their hands.
Shanine only has hours to sit with this outcome before trial 2 of 3 gets underway. Jury selection for the initial officer on the scene begins Friday morning. And like this trial, Shanine will be there every step of the way.
I knew my son better than anybody. You know, I have to be here. This is a part of my parental role, is to be here for my son, even in death.